Looking back, can you identify, I want you to zoom in, can you identify a specific challenge or setback that actually tested your resilience during your time at Syracuse?
Absolutely. Pledging.
Pledging. Come on.
I can't get into the nitty gritty now. This is rated, I'm assuming it's rated.
This is rated
G.
PG. Yes, G.
It's going to be on YouTube. You know, the children might have to sign a little clearance form or something to watch this part.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Coach Cecily, also known as Chinasa. Welcome to Chinasa's Cocoon. I'm super excited to have a very special guest on my podcast called Beyond the Bounceback, How Setbacks Unleash Your Inner Visionary. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my fraternity brother, Shahid.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
Glad to be here. We're in a cocoon. I'm about to turn into a butterfly.
Come on here to a higher version
chicken?
of yourself.
All right.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
All right.
And that's what butterflies represent, in my opinion.
Okay, what, the funky chicken?
No, a higher version of yourself.
All right.
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
The funky chicken, I mean, we could mesh that in with a little Parliament, Funkadelic, and P-Funk. Right? The cues, the brass.
Okay.
Y'all want to see my brand? See that?
Little shameless plug there.
All right.
Can you describe a pivotal moment during your Syracuse University years that significantly impacted the trajectory of your life? And so first, what was that pivotal moment? Describe it for us. And then what were the circumstances surrounding that moment and how did it make you feel at the time?
I think all of us go through the same pivot when we're dropped off by our parents. That's a big pivot. I was 17 years old. Thought I knew everything. Born and raised in New York City. And being dropped off in the mountains in an environment, multicultural. Brothers and sisters from Africa, Italy, different parts of Europe, all over the nation. You're talking about a pivot. I thought I knew everything. I found out I didn't know a thing. I ain't even have facial hairs yet.
Right.
Matter of fact, I went and bought a razor and started shaving my stubble to force the hairs to grow.
Wow.
So you're talking about a pivot. I became a man at Syracuse.
Okay.
Because manhood is not all about indulging with women and stuff like that. You know, the things you think make you a man. Responsibility. What kind of responsibility? You think, oh, you're a student. You're getting your behind up and going to classes, going to the library, doing what's required of you as a student. It's not all about fun. I watched people flunk out. We were having a ball. But the brothers that I was rolling with, Zulu, rest in peace, Rich Mayer, Russell Michael, Kip Jackson, who was my roommate, freshman and sophomore year, Trevor McKenzie. We had a lot of fun, but the one thing was for sure, where you could find us at 7 o'clock each weekday night, with the exception of Friday. Of course, we'd be at happy hour a little early. Bird Library. And then we were good for doing those overnighters when we needed to, or when midterms came or finals time, we were doing what we were supposed to do.
That's right.
So responsibility, I think, is one of the things that as a young man you learn, because you have to be responsible. Yeah. As a man, you maintain over your family, your children. I have grandchildren now. But responsibility to myself, to my family, in the sense that they didn't, my mother didn't send me to school to flunk out. Right. She sent me there to achieve and to ascend to a higher height. And knowledge is power if you use it correctly. Yes. So that was my first pivot. Okay. Freshman year. Yes. Yes.
And it sounds like it made you feel like there was a sense of responsibility that you had stepped into that was on your shoulders to bear in terms of being there and achieving. Am I right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's good. And so looking back, can you identify, I want you to zoom in, can you identify a specific challenge or setback that actually tested your resilience during your time at Syracuse?
Absolutely. Pledging.
Come on.
I can't get into the nitty gritty now. This is rated, I'm assuming it's rated.
This is rated
G.
PG. Yes, G.
It's going to be on YouTube. The children might have to sign a little clearance form or something to watch this part.
Yes,
but
yes.
No, but with all seriousness, pledging definitely tested my resiliency, my tolerance, because laughing about it, they lied to us.
Say more about that.
I was told by the brothers at the interest meeting in the interviews, oh yes, brother, manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. We're gonna let you study. Your grades are gonna skyrocket. You're gonna be, some of your most renowned men in scholarship and law and physics and biology or Omega man. Oh, all right. And they didn't lie about that part, but they lied about was it was gonna let us study.
Right.
Study what?
Right. When?
I studied some physics, all right. How fast a piece of wood could approach my backside.
Board of Education.
The Board of Education.
Yes.
And how fast I could pop up. And to my resiliency. And
come on.
The bounce back.
Yes.
It was on and popping.
Come on here. Okay.
But again, this is the rated G or maybe PG version of what we would discuss. But
absolutely.
But really, it made me stronger mentally because you had to make quick decisions on your feet. Like I have a daughter that's in medical school. She has to make quick decisions as a doctor, becoming a doctor, because you're dealing with someone's life.
Right.
Well, when I was dealing with my life and my sands, we were becoming one.
Yes.
So when becoming one, what's that preparing me for? It's preparing me for the compromise and the sacrifice that I would eventually have to make when I got married and I had children. The compromise, the bonding. Of course, I'm bonding with males, but I'm just saying the compromise, the decision making.
Hold your mic up.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, brother? Okay. All right. Because I don't want anybody to miss this part.
A little bit closer.
The resiliency in the sense that although I was tried, I was able to snap back and be aware of all my surroundings and excel and survive all of the trials and the examinations that was put before me, and I was able to think quick on my feet. So, I mean, there's a lot to it, but yeah, you're talking about a test of resiliency and bounce back.
I love that.
Phenomenal.
And so it sounds like as you navigated through some of the challenges associated with pledging, and I also pledged, and so it sounds like within you found the strength to make quick decisions. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Were there any other gems hidden within you that you discovered as a result of stepping up to that challenge?
Absolutely.
What's one?
Perseverance. Some people say fortitude. I know that's a part of the United States Constitution, and it's key in masonry. The fortitude, the ability to press on regardless to whom or what, and reach your appointed goal and not be distracted. I think, again, that plays into life. Being able to stay focused, being able to keep your finances in order, your household in order, so that you can move to that next level. You buy that first house, you buy that first car, you make that first major investment, you make your first $1 million, you don't lose it.
Yeah.
These type of things. Or you start making real money.
Yeah.
You come out of college, you making popcorn money. Then you graduate to, okay, you're making some adult money. And if you have a family, you got to learn how to make it happen regardless of what you're making. But pledging teach you how to go to Hungry Charlie's and break a hamburger up into 3 different pieces. And how many other line brothers or line sisters you got?
Come on.
And feed the, you know the part of the Bible that talks about how Elijah gave the woman, a couple of pieces of bread or something like that. And I mean, she was able to make it happen. Well, it becomes reality when you pledge it and you starve it.
Yeah.
And you don't have any money.
Yeah.
You got a few coins in your pocket, and you put it together, you go buy 1 hamburger.
Okay.
And the whole line eats.
Come on. They say necessity is the mother of invention.
Come on. So you talking about bringing some stuff out of you?
Yes.
Creativity?
Come on.
I didn't know I was a comedian. I could make brothers laugh to keep them off my backside.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Hidden gems. I love that. So was there a particular moment during your pledge process that your perspective shifted? And I want you to think about probably the most challenging moment. And you don't need to go into details, but the most challenging moment that maybe you thought, okay, I don't know. But somehow your perspective shifted and you realized this is an opportunity rather than an obstacle.
Well, they told us that we were going to the Bahamas when we first, they pumped it up. We were like, oh, wait a minute. All expense paid trip to the Bahamas?
Wow.
I said, yeah, all you gotta do is stay up here for spring break. Everybody else is going home. You going to the Bahamas. So there we are. February, it's cold. You know how cold Syracuse is. Sub-zero weather. And we in a frat house, and they didn't have that central heating system. It was them oil heaters in everybody's room, and if it wasn't on, it was like 30 degrees in the room.
It was real rustic, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we waiting. We're like, well, should we start packing? I'm excited. Going to the Bahamas.
Right.
All the brothers show up. Brother so-and-so and brother so-and-so stayed to go to the Bahamas with us. They said, well, we're here. I said, we ain't get to the airport yet. How we step through time? They got a time machine or something?
Right.
Just dropped a smile at their face. It said, we lied to the Bahamas. We in the Bahamas. The Bahamas is the frat house.
Right.
So it wipes that smile on your face and you realize, I've been tricked. How did Malcolm say it? Bamboozled,
hoodwinked. Plymouth Rock we didn't
land on Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock
landed on our backside.
That's right.
They did the remix.
Yeah.
So that wake up call where you realize, damn, am I willing to do this for the next, I don't know how many weeks?
But how did that obstacle turn into an opportunity?
The opportunity is the fraternity. It's the network that we became a part of. I went on to write several books based on fraternal sorority standards, the codification of symbolism. I went on to do lecture circuit. My highest lecture honorarium, what was it? $5,200. Opportunity.
Right.
Is in the eye of the beholder.
Okay.
You have to see the vision. You have to see the keys that you're being given. You could receive a key, but you might think it's to a Pontiac.
Right.
It could very well be to a spaceship. It could be to a time machine.
Okay.
In the sense that you become a scholar in your own right, and you're able to transverse time and studying history and applying it to the now.
Okay.
That's golden.
That's good. That's good. And so it sounds like what that challenge helped you to do was personally to develop your ability to reframe things and see the golden in it, see the opportunity in the obstacle. How did that translate to you professionally, though? How did that
good question
obstacle turned opportunity translate into setting you up for even greater success professionally speaking? You talked about book writing.
I would say professionally, in the job structure of America as a black man. A man who is awake, learning how to navigate the fields of corporate America. I started out in the advertising industry.
Yeah.
I sat down in meetings with Bob Johnson, former owner of BET, and watched him get ridiculed by angry white males who, I mean, I have to speak the truth, you know, that mocked him.
Yeah.
Because here's a black man who owned a very powerful media machine. BET was the thing. It still is to a certain extent, but back then, you know how it was. And so sitting in those board meetings, interacting with other individuals in the industry and seeing how that whole thing is ran and its impact. You know, the TV, they used to call it the one-eyed monster. Now the one-eyed monster is your iPhone and all these other things that unfortunately control a lot of people. But, you know, that training ground, pledging, taught me how to navigate those fields. It taught me how to navigate the path in the ministry in the Nation of Islam, being a young student minister, running with, may Allah be pleased with him, Brother Dr. Khalid. He trained me in my infancy in the Nation of Islam. The many lessons that I drew for him and still draw for Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, just dealing with the power structure. We did the Million Man March. We didn't know that thing was actually going to draw almost 2 million people. Yeah. We made history. And that's so good. Making history, being humble enough to bounce back from that and not have a big head and move forward with all the other things that will come. Because as a black man, when you do something great, honestly, you get a little worried. Because you're like, uh-oh, what's coming? What they coming with to stop this? And how am I going to navigate through that next phase? What's it going to look like? Am I going to live through that?
Yes. Well, you tap back into the same bounce back ability, resilience that going back to pledging, you know, you use to overcome all of the obstacles and the challenges. And with that, I'm wondering, what advice would you give someone maybe who is pledging a sorority, or maybe someone who is trying to gain entrance into an MBA program, a doctorate program? What advice would you give someone, maybe a younger person coming up behind us, who is facing a similar challenge today?
To weigh out all the variables involved. As someone who sits here, when I graduated from Syracuse University in 1986, tuition was $14,000. It is now approximately $90,000. What do I tell these young people now? You better keep it 100. You better make sure that you have all of the scholarships, all of the help, OPM, other people's money.
Come on.
That you can get before you tap in to, because, you know, they use that word a lot, tap in. Tap into your parents' pocketbook. Well, your mother's pocketbook. Dad got a wallet. Right? So, but before you ask them to pay, make sure that you've tapped in, that you've used all of your intellectual wit to get the scholarships that you need to get. And then when you get in, because you will, if that's what you want, take advantage of every opportunity that is available, to the point where you're not going overboard. You need balance, you need to socialize, but you don't go to school to party.
Right.
You can party when you get your PhD.
I found that out. Yeah, I found that out the hard way.
We didn't know that too much when we were in it. But we made it, though.
We did.
But excel. Just, you know, you're there for a purpose. Maintain your purpose. Have a good time. But maintain your purpose. And as you proceed forth out, because it's only a 4-year cocoon. Like, we in a cocoon here. We only in here for a couple of minutes.
That's
but we're trying to expand. You know how Rakim said, I write my rhymes in my mansion, you know. Expansion, dealing with, you know, mind science. I don't want to get too much into the hip hop stuff right now. That's another interview.
I love it. All right,
because you know I did some stuff in the hip hop industry. Well, we'll talk about that at another time.
That's another episode.
That's another time.
Absolutely. All right, so 2 more questions.
Okay.
How do you hope your story of resilience, of perseverance, will inspire future generations of Black and Latino Syracuse alums coming up behind us?
I would just hope that whatever aspect of my example that they may look at, that it will be inspiring, that it will be some nuggets of wisdom, some nuggets of knowledge and understanding, and stability, mental stability, which is what we need to be grounded.
Yes.
Without being grounded and balanced, whatever you got, it's not gonna last.
Can you share one strategy that a young person, Black and Latino, Syracuse
Better learn how to
student-
meditate.
Okay, meditation.
Prayer.
Prayer. That's
might
two.
think it's corny
That's
to hear
good.
that word.
Yeah.
No, prayer
Yeah.
is serious communication with God, and
Yeah.
that God is within. He's
That's
in.
good.
He operates in all of us. But what's it? Philippians. It says, "Let this mind be in you that what?
Is in
Christ Jesus." Well, that transcends all religions because the Lord is in all religions. So this oneness, this fabric that we're a part of,
Yes.
let that mind be centered, grounded, so that whatever you go through,
That's right.
that's what's standing out. Because as long as people can see that presence,
Yeah.
that's what resonates with everybody. A great artist like Michael Jackson or Jay-Z or Beyonce or Richard Wright or, all of these different great ones that have come before us,
Okay.
is the resonance of God
Yes.
that the people see, and that's what they attack. So that's immortal.
Yeah.
So after I'm gone, if that could stand with them and they could take a part of that and add that to their fabric and help them propel themselves forward, I would appreciate that.
I love that. It makes me think I had a special guest on my Instagram Live that
You.
happens on Instagram on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Central Standard Time and Eastern Standard Time. And he said, when you understand your why and your purpose, then resilience is a byproduct.
There it is.
When you understand your why and your purpose, according to God, resilience, it's going to happen. It has to happen because your why is that strong. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this
Thank
opportunity.
you.
Thanks for everybody out there. And I won't say TV land, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook land.
Absolutely.
It's
Thank
real.
you, Shah.
Peace.
All right.